Now this video is on investment banking profile and which area firms we can apply to. A lot of questions are being asked to us like I don't have a rank in CA and don't have that much of experience in articleship also, great experience. So how can I get into investment banking profile? Now, normally there are three types of firms in investment banking. One is the global banks, global big investment banks. Then there's Indian investment banks. Then there's boutique investment banks. So if you don't have a rank or a good exposure, so it will be better for you if you can do a course on financial modeling and valuation first. Financial modeling and valuation, if you are able to do from good institutes like CFI or TWSS or any other good institutes, so you will have a skill with you. After you have the skills with you, financial modeling and valuation, and it's also that you will have some experience in auditing. So you make a good resume, good one-page resume, and then you apply to all the firms. It will be very difficult to get into big banks. For interns, it might be easy. For an analyst profile or a CF research, it might be little difficult to get into IB firms. But you can target the boutique investment banks. And one more thing, like in boutique investment banks, you will learn a lot, okay, compared to a big investment banks where you might get a back-end roles, but in the boutique banks you might learn a lot. And after staying there for 1 or 2 years, then you might try to get into a big banks, big investment banks, Indian CA banks, Indian CA investment banks. Okay, so this is the procedure to apply, that do a financial modeling valuation course, and then you apply for a boutique banks. Okay, get a learning and exposure, then try to get into big banks, Indian CA banks, and then global banks. That is the procedure that you might do it. Okay, and apart from that, if you are able to do MBA finance later on, then it will be a possibility in investment bank. Now the questions that can be asked in investment banking is, the questions that is basically asked in this profile is like they ask on accounting, so you should be good with accounting. Like they ask you, walk me through a balance sheet, PL, cash flow statement, how the three things are interconnected. The second question is that they might ask you that if the depreciation goes down or it goes up by this much amount, what will be the impact on the net profit, cash flow statement. So you should be good with this interlinkages. Apart from this, about this accounting questions, they might ask you on finance questions, so you should be good with your stock market knowledge as well. So they might ask you whether you invest in stock market, which industries you track. So if you have to say that, if you say that I invest in HUL, then they might drill down on your FMCG industry also experience. So you should be good with your financial modeling valuation, and you should have a good knowledge on the stock market as well, and particular industries as well. So at least you should study before your investment banking interview at least 1 or 2 or 3 sectors. You should have a very good knowledge about the sector and about the business. They might ask you why you want to invest in this HUL, why you invested in the HUL or IDFC First Bank or something like that. So you should be good with your answers, that this is the reason that I invested in this firm. Apart from this financial modeling, valuation, stock market knowledge, you should be very good with current affairs. So they might ask you on repo rate, what will be the impact of COVID on the economy, or any other questions that may ask you about economics. You should be good with economics, about the repo rate, reverse repo rate. So economics is another very important thing. Financial modeling, valuation, economics, current affairs, stock market. So this sort of knowledge is very much required. In valuation, they might ask you, walk me through a DCF model or relative valuation model, precedent transaction, precedent multiples, different types of valuation. How will you value IT industry? What are the key performance metrics in an IT industry? They might ask you. How will you value a stock? Suppose how will you value a TCS or an Infosys? How will you value them? How will you value the stock price of them? Will you apply a DCF model in this, or a relative valuation PE model in that? And what are the multiples you will estimate in a real estate? Which multiples you will apply to value a company? Like to value a company, EV upon EBITDA, sales upon EBITDA. How will you value a startup like a Zomato or a Swiggy? How will you value them? Okay, what are the valuation strategies in startup? So what are the valuation strategies in stock market, in startup? So they will ask a lot of questions on valuation. Accounting, you should be good with accounting. Accounting in sense they might ask you in journal entry little bit, or they might ask you on balance sheet, PL, cash flow. You should be good with these three things. They ask you what are the components of OCI. So they will ask more on the how the three things are interconnected, and they might ask you on financial modeling and LBO as well, leverage buyout. So you should be good with financial modeling. You should be good with leverage buyout as well. So there will be question, what is leverage buyout? Why leverage buyout? Apart from this, they might ask you behavioral questions, that why investment banking? What is investment banking? Why you want to pursue investment banking? Are you okay with long working hours? Why you are joining this firm? Why this firm? So you should be prepared with these also questions. So where you can prepare everything. Now, first important thing I will tell you, take a financial modeling and valuation course. Then you start also accessing the resources like Wall Street Mojo, CFI. So get a lot of resources on YouTube. You will get a lot of resources on the interview questions. Okay, like this. So go through those questions very well, and then start giving one or two interviews. By interviews, when you start giving it, it will be easy for you to know what sort of questions they might ask you, and you can easily get into a firm. It will be, if you have attempts on something, you should target a small boutique. You will get the boutique investment banks. Apart from after you stay there for 6 months, 1 year experience, then you can get into an Indian global Indian investment banks, and then you can get into a global bank as well. It depends on your experience. So it is not difficult, but yeah, you have to start from small banks and then you have to go. In small banks, the salary will be little less, but the thing is that you will learn a lot out there, and learning is very important. If you have a good learning in investment bank, the earning will take care of in the long term. Only thing is that you have to work very hard. You should be good with your Excel, PowerPoint presentation, because a lot of presentations happens. So you should be good with Excel and proper presentation also. Okay, so I told you about financial modeling, valuation, Excel, presentation, access the resources, and apart from this, auditing also. If you have a good experience in audit, that will definitely help you in this profile. Compared to taxation profile, it will be little difficult. So that also has a advantage if you are in a stat audit field. On Big Four also, it gives an advantage in getting the shortlisting done. In Indian CA banks, Indian banks you can target like a Kotak Investment Bank is there, ICICI Securities is there. So a lot of banks are, Citi Bank is there, that is a global bank, Citi, Goldman, JP Morgan. So there you might also target, but normally you will get a role of a controller there. You will not get you will get a back-end investment banking job. You will not get a direct front-end type of job. In the boutique firms, you will learn little bit more. You will learn how to create a model and everything. But in the big banks, it's normally seen that people calculate the NAV calculations and accounting roles they get. This is my limited knowledge, but this is what the people generally say, that in the big banks you might not work that much core or investment banking you might not get, but in the small banks you will learn a lot, and then from that experience you can get into a big bank. So there is no disadvantage in getting into a big bank or a small bank. It all depends on how you learn, and later on the earning will taken care of. I hope this video is useful. Do like, comment on the channel, and we are making a lot of efforts. So do to share with your friends also. Tell them also to subscribe, and also we have a Telegram group as well, to subscribe that as well. So these questions and these interviews will be really useful for you. Okay, thank you so much.